this is Chris UX. I'm the founder of the Spy Agency here in Atlanta, Georgia. Back with another short video about social media. This time it's about Threads. Recently, they just made an announcement, go here, that Threads will now prioritize accounts that you follow instead of randos. The growth of X alternatives seem to be keeping Threads on the virtual toes. So basically, without boring you with the details of the article, they've taken the feature that you can already see from Bluesky, because they noticing the exodus coming from Twitter going over to Bluesky that happened since the election. I just did a video this week about how I feel like, even though they are leaving Twitter to go to Bluesky, I think eventually they'll go back to Twitter. Not saying they're gonna close their Bluesky account. I just think in the end they're just going to end up using both of them. My personal opinion. But Threads, which on my Meta, it have a far bigger user base than Bluesky, because I feel like that Meta practicing dark UX is they connected your Instagram account to Threads, so which made it for easy sign up, which is the good UX. But the dark part is, if you want to leave Threads, you have to deactivate your Threads account. You have to deactivate your Instagram account. It's not separated, which I think is very bogus. I think that's horrible. So my thing is, it should be common sense that your feed should be showing you who you follow and not just random people anyway. But you know how a big company goes. Money over good UX oftentimes. They want the money. So they're going to try to find ways to keep you addicted. And my thing is, even through the UX, you can figure that out, without trying to like seduce people into watching content that they don't want to watch. I think TikTok kind of mastered that. So basically, so I just feel like that Meta have been focusing too much on feeding you content to keep you on there, because that's the new strategy now, is keeping you on the app as long as possible. And so that's why TikTok has autoplay on the videos, like to keep you watching, to keep you on the app, to keep feeding you content. And Threads, that's their way of doing it. And this is not, and what they're doing is totally legal. Like this has been going back and forth with tech companies for years. Because I remember with Snapchat was like really taking off with their whole story feature, and then what happened? Instagram started their own stories, right? And then kind of took away some of their buzz. And this case, funny enough, owned by Meta. Right? The big dogs will take over the little ones. So I just feel like this should have been common sense from the get go. I will say that, from my understanding, that Threads is a different experience from Twitter, from Bluesky, because it's more influencer heavy. I guess that's the word for it. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how they're gonna fit into a long term, right? Because I think, in some ways, I feel like people are getting tired of the influencer culture, and then in some other ways that they may embrace a little bit more, such as in the realm of news per se. Because I think more people get their news. Well, it's been said that more people get their news from social media, and for social media influencers over legacy media like Fox News and CNN, MSNBC. So, it's a lot going on in social media space. But I just want you to think, as designers, think about what made them come to this decision. Because nobody it's not one person who just wake up one morning and make a drastic change like this. You got to think about it. This probably was in meetings for months, going back and forth. And I had to assume some type of research going in, or they just felt like, hey, they probably just did a comparative analysis and realized that the custom feed is working for Bluesky. Let me just go ahead and sell it for Threads. But I want to know your thoughts. Which one you think it is, or maybe it's a little bit of both. But but it's not unusual by no means. I can think of a few years ago. I remember reading about the competition between McDonald's and Wendy's, and McDonald's was spending all this money to figure out where to put McDonald's franchises at, like which location, like which what corners to use. Like they just doing all this research to make sure they had the perfect location to succeed for their business. So what Wendy's did, instead of doing the exact same thing, they just simply built the Wendy's next to a McDonald's, because they felt like McDonald's already did work for them. And from my understanding, it worked. I mean, Wendy's is still thriving next to McDonald's. So But I think in a sense, is it genius or is it lazy? you know, I can see it go both ways. Or, instead of trying to match what your competition is doing, why not try to make it better than what your competition is doing? So that's what I said. In a sense, I feel it's kind of lazy. Like, yeah, working from them, but how can you improve upon it even more? And that's also why I think that Bluesky are gonna have a hard time getting people to use their platform exclusively from Twitter because it looks too much alike. It's not really a different experience. At least the content is different on Threads. If that what you prefer, but even then, like you only get so far stealing from your smaller competition. And right now, Meta's a big dog. Like they wrapping up everything, and I'm not surprised at all because uh, back when Meta bought Instagram off for $1 billion in cash and shares, I knew this direction was going to go. I knew everything was about to change because no company going to spend $1 billion on a company, to not make profit. I knew it would make a lot of changes to get their money back plus some. If they bought it for $1 billion, they trying to get $5 billion out of it. So I already knew the algorithm was going to change. We're going to see a lot more advertising, and those things have come to pass. So now, you got Instagram, and now you got this connected to your threads. It's just, there's something to think about as a designer. Like, uh, think about how the companies move. Are they really have, do they have dedicated UX research departments? Are they really doing research to improve upon the product? Or are they just doing a competitive analysis and trying to steal a feature to survive? I don't know. I mean, that's a question I'm posing to you. What do you think? I think it could be a little bit of both. But the landscape is changing very rapidly. If you haven't noticed, especially within the last 5 to 8 years. Like social media is a totally different beast now, and I'm not sure how it's going to end up. To be honest, I'm not sure. I mean, in a sense, I feel like it's going to fall back some and go back to the old ways, but at the same time, I feel like the internet is too deep in this now, to too commercialized to go back. It kind of taking the fun out of the internet, in my opinion. But there's something that just crossed my mind. I just wanted to share it and see your thoughts. And one thing I'm trying to do with each of these videos, I'm trying to get you to see the UX and everyday things and everywhere you go. Like, why are they doing this? Like, who decided that? Did they run that through UX? Did they go do some research for this? Did they do any A/B testing for this? Did they talk to any users about this? This is something to consider. But anyway, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next one.